Hello everyone, Aiden here from Finalizing, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make this adorable little pear design, which is designed by me. So I actually made these guys yesterday. This one I made first, and then I had to make another one because I actually didn't write it down how I made this, and I kind of had to figure out on my own how to make this. But anyways, this design is fairly simple. Honestly, it's really quick and easy. It's just, there's like little things that like I do differently on here than I would normally do, but it's not that hard. Yeah, so if like you're used to doing Loomigurumi, there's just some like weird places where I put increases, and yeah. So I don't really know what the band count is. It's gonna be in the description. I always like forget to count the bands when I'm filming, but yeah. So today you are going to be needing, I used 2 eyes, just 2 eyes. I have no clue what millimeter beads these are. I got them in a mix pack at Michael's, yeah. You're also going to be needing your band color, and a stem color, and if you want to, make a leaf, which you don't have to. I didn't put a leaf on this one just to show you and it looks good. Yeah, so you can decide if you want a leaf or not. You don't even have to put a stem on it. So I also used a black band for the smile. I know that I normally don't show you my other videos how to put on the smile, but I basically just got like a glue gun and I put a dot of hot glue and I put on the smile like that. But in this tutorial, I'm actually going to show you how to do that for this pair. So then if you want to put on cheeks, I just use 2 sweet pink bands. You can just use pink, whatever color you want for the cheeks. I used a rainbow loom hook. You can use any hook, a crochet hook, any hook that you want. And I'm also going to be using a stitch marker. And I believe that is it, so let's get started. I'm going to be using pastel yellow, because I have seen some pairs that are yellow, and not just green. There's many different colors of pears, so I just decided to use yellow because I had it. Yeah, let's get started. So taking a band, I'm gonna get a band, and I'm going to wrap it around my hook, creating 3 loops. So 1, 2, then 3. Okay, I'm gonna grab another band. I'm gonna put it on my hook, and I'm gonna pull this band through this capping band. Okay, then reclaim that loop. Okay, then I'm gonna pull this band over this one. Okay, I'm trying to not put my fingers in the way so you can see, but so like this, like that, okay? So it looks like this. Then I'm gonna go back in these 3 loops in the capping band. I'm gonna grab another band. I'm gonna pull it just through the 3 loop capping band and reclaim that loop. Then I'm gonna pull this first loop through these loops. So like that. So that was 2 stitches. You want to make 5. Alright, so I'm gonna go back in. Grab a band, pull it through that capping band. Pull it through those 2. Okay, that was 3. Go back in to do 2 more. In, pull a band on, reclaim, pull it through. Go back in, and do our last stitch. Okay, so I did 5 stitches, as you can see, it should look like this. Okay, so the way to count, I'm going to look at these little V shapes, right? On this side one right here is not a stitch, it's just a part of this stitch, so do not count this one, alright? I know that it can be confusing for beginners, but yeah. Okay, so I'm going to count just this V shape. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and the one on my hook is 5, right? So instead of going back into the cupping band, I'm going to go into this first V shape stitch, like that. I'm going to grab another band, I'm going to pull it through just those 2 loops in that stitch, reclaim. Then again, like we did in the capping band part for making the magic ring, I am going to pull the first one over these 2, like that. And this is the band that we're going to put our stitch marker on. Okay. So I'm getting a lot of notifications right now. Okay. Just like that. Alright, so just bear with me because this is where sorry, I'm getting a lot of notifications. This is where I do something different than in my normal videos. So on the first stitch, I'm going to do an increase. Okay, on the first stitch, we're going to do an increase, then we're going to do a single, then an increase, and the last 2 stitches, we're going to do singles, okay? So just follow me. So I'm going to do an increase in this first stitch. So the stitch that we just did right now was 1 stitch. So I'm going to go back into the stitch that we did, that we put our stitch marker on. I'm going to go in that loop and do another stitch. Pull it through. Alright, so then I'm going to do a single in the next stitch. So go into the next stitch. And then just do a single, just 1 stitch. So that was a single. I just did 1 stitch. Then I'm going to go into the next one and do an increase. So an increase is just putting 2 stitches like we did before on the first one. Go back in that stitch and do another one. Okay, then the last 2 here are going to be singles. So that's what I kind of do different. In this row and a few other rows, I kind of do a little bit things different just to get the pear shape. So single, the next stitch is going to be single. Okay, I do this to get the pear shape. Alright, so I am back with the band with my stitch marker on. I'm just going to go into the band with my stitch marker and just do a single stitch in there. No increases, just do a single stitch in there. Then I'm going to take my stitch marker off and put it on the band on my hook. Alright, so it should look like this, and you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stitches, so an odd number. Okay, so now this row, I'm just going to do singles all around. So this was the first stitch, and then I'm going to go into the next stitch, and just do singles all around. Just 1 stitch all around in the bands. Oops. Okay, I'm back at my stitch marker. I'm going to go into the band with my stitch marker on it and then just do a stitch. Then remove it and put it on the band on my hook. Alright, so you should still have 7 stitches around. I'm not going to count because I already know that I have 7 stitches, but you feel free to count if you want to, okay? So now this round we're going to do an increase and a single and all around. So I normally would do a single increase, but now we're going to do an increase single. Alright? Yes, it took a while for me to get this shape, but yeah, okay? So this was This first stitch was 1, so I'm going to go back into that stitch and do an increase. So don't do a single, do an increase, then on the next stitch we're going to do a single. Then an increase in the next stitch. This band blue, so an increase here. That's what's really different about this. I just like differently where we put the increases. Go into the next stitch is a single until we get to the stitch marker. This is a really easy design, like I said in the beginning. I know that I said it was fairly easy, but it honestly really is easy. I can get a little bit confusing if you're so used to like the Loomigurumi things where we do like an increase instead of a single increase instead of a single. Instead of an increase single, if that makes sense. Okay, so then the last stitch before your stitch marker should be an increase. So you should end on an increase. Right, so then I'm just going to do a stitch with the band on my stitch marker because we're back there, and then I'm going to take my stitch marker out and put it on the band on my hook. Okay, so this round we're going to do the same exact thing that we did on the last round. We're going to do an increase single all around. So I'm going to go, so this was one stitch in this stitch, I'm going to go back in to do an increase. Then I'm going to go into the next stitch and do a single. So an increase single. It's kind of weird to say increase single, because I normally do single increase, but sorry if I'm confusing you. If I am, then don't even listen to what I'm saying. I'm just saying, like, the stuff that I like normally do. And I think that it was funny because on my first prototype, which was this light green one, I ended up using solar bands because I didn't have like another light green color and I really liked that color. So when I took a picture outside for Instagram, I had to take it really quickly because then the bands were turning purple because I got the solar bands, like the solar bands that changed from green to purple. So yeah, I thought that was like really funny. Okay, so you should end on an increase. I'm just gonna get more bands. So my last stitch before the stitch marker is going to be an increase. Okay. And then I'm just going to do a stitch in with the band on the stitch marker and then take it off and then put it on my hook. Band on my hook. Okay, so now this row around, you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Alright? I'm not really sure if I counted last time how many stitches you need, but you should have 17 stitches on this row. Okay? So now for 3 rounds, we're going to do singles. Just singles for 3 rounds. So I'm going to do 1 round with you, and then you're going to have to come back, and then you're going to have to go off the tutorial and do 2 more rounds. So I'm going to do 1 row around and single with you. Okay. So I'm just going to talk about stuff. So I plan to make more tutorials this week, at least 2 more, maybe even more, because I am off and I'm gonna want to get as much tutorials as I can because I know that I won't have a lot more time to film after this week. So yeah. in design, because I'm going to be back in school, because I'm on spring break now. And yeah, at least it's like nice weather out, because usually it's like cold out, but again, like, I do like the cold weather, kinda. And I actually love these pastel bands. I'm just like not really liking that Rainbow Loom kind of changed their formula, and they changed like some of their bands like to be transparent. It's not really my favorite thing in the world, but oh well. Oops. Whoops. Okay, so I'm back at the band with my stitch marker on it. I'm gonna make a stitch and put it back on my hook. Okay, you should still have 17 stitches around. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay, so you can see how it's coming together already. I'm gonna go off the tutorial, and you're gonna have to do 2 more rounds. Okay, so come back to me when you have done 2 more rounds, single. Alright, so I'm back with doing my 2 rows. So you should have done 2 rows, but technically it was 3 because I already did one with you. So yeah, and you should still have 17 stitches around. So actually, now this round we're gonna decrease, so that's how simple this design is. So we're almost done. So I'm just gonna get more bands. Okay, so this row I'm gonna do a single decrease. So decrease on every third. So this was a single, this was a single stitch with a stitch marker on it, so I'm gonna go into the next stitch and do another single. Okay, so that was 2 singles. Now I'm gonna do a decrease. So I'm gonna go, so decrease is basically stitching 2 stitches together. So I'm going to go in the first loop of the next stitch, and then the inner loop, wait, I'm gonna show that again. I'm gonna go in the inner loop of the next stitch, and then the outer loop on the other stitch next to that. Then I'm gonna get a band and pull it through those 2 loops, reclaim, and make a stitch. Okay? So I'm gonna do that all the way around to, so 2 singles. So the next stitch is gonna be a single. So that was 1. Oops, that band was thin. Then 2. Then the next, then on the third, we're gonna do a decrease. So just doing a decrease. All the way around. And I forgot to say that you will also need stuffing. You can use cotton balls, tissue, paper. Honestly, I use polyfill, but I really would recommend to use cotton balls for this, because it's kind of weird. Whatever, I'll just tell you it when I get to it, but it's kind of weird what I do. I mean, it's kind of weird to stuff this guy because of its shape, because it kind of gets bulgy when you stuff it. Okay, so you should end on a single, hopefully. Okay, so I'm back on the stitch marker, so then I'm just gonna do a single. Put it back on my hook. Okay, so you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. You should have 13. So now I'm gonna stuff I'm gonna get stuff in here. Like I said before, you really don't want to stuff this that much, because I didn't stuff this top part because it's like, because if you stuff the top part, then it's gonna like be flat, or it's gonna like bulge with it. I mean, you can if you want to, and if you like overstuff it, then it's gonna bulge like that, and it's kind of weird. I don't know. I'm just gonna use polyfill. Just try your best with the stuffing part. So here, you can let your hook out. Your stitch marker should hold it. If you have a C-clip, then it should hold it as well. It may come off. I have a lock, so mine's not gonna come off, but yeah, I'm just gonna hold it like that. Then I'm gonna put stuffing in. Alright, again, it's kind of weird how I stuff this. So I'm not gonna stuff the top part because there's really no need to. It doesn't need stuffing. And if you do, then it's gonna be misshapen. And we don't want that, because we use stuffing for it to shape it. And if we misshape it because of the stuffing, that doesn't make any sense. So, yeah. Like, that is already good. Like, this doesn't really need that much stuffing. Okay, I'm just gonna go off camera so I can see better. Stuff. It's just stuffing. You really don't need to see me stuff. Okay. So, I'm done stuffing. So, it kind of looks like that. Alright, I didn't stuff this part. You can, like I said, so we're gonna put our hook back on. And the way to put it back on is if you see these loops going towards this way, that's the way that you want to put it back on. So don't put it on like this. So don't put it back on like this. Put it back on like this. Okay? So this row, I'm going to be doing a single decrease. So this was a single, so now I'm going to do a decrease on the next ones. So go to band, make a stitch. Okay, so then next one's going to be a single. All the way around until we get to the stitch marker, you know the deal. Okay. And I don't really know that if I said this in the beginning, but this design was pretty difficult to get the size that I wanted and the right shape. Because I have like a stuffed animal in my room of like a pear. It's like a small stuffed animal, and I kept like looking at it so I can get like the perfect pear shape, okay? So I'm gonna end on a single. And then on the next stitch, or let's stitch with my C-clip or stitch marker on it, I'm gonna just make a stitch. Oops. Okay, so now at this point, you should, I'm just gonna take this off. At this point, you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 stitches. Okay, so I'm not gonna put my stitch marker back on this loop. I'm just gonna decrease till closed. Okay, so I'm just gonna do all decreases till I can no longer do any decreases. That's the thin band. Oops. I'm gonna grab more bands. Oops. Okay, so I think that the last one is gonna be my last, yeah, okay. So once you have your last decrease on your hook, it's gonna look like that. I'm just gonna get a band to pull it through everything. I'm gonna pull it through this stitch, and this one as well. So just pull it through everything, reclaim, and do a slip knot and pull tight. Okay? So then I'm gonna hide this tail inside of my pear. Oops. Okay, so I don't really want this to be flat. Kind of want it so it's like puffing up, so it looks like a real pear. Okay, so your pear shape is done pretty much. It's really adorable. Okay, so now I'm going to do the stem, and I'm going to show you how to make this leaf too if you really want to make it. So first I'm going to do the stem. I'm going to go up to the top, and if you can see the stitch marker with the 5 stitches, I'm going to go on one side of it, and then I'm going to go on the other side of it, like that. So since we did 5 stitches, it's not going to be even. So there's going to be 3 stitches here and then 2 stitches here, it doesn't matter, okay? I'm going to be using the skin tone brown from Rainbow Loom for the stem. So I'm going to double loop. Oops. I'm going to double loop brown, pull it through that hole. Oops. Put it back on my hook like that. And it's kind of shoving through. I'll show you later, okay? So I'm just gonna chain up 3. I'm gonna do that 2 more times. So that was 1, then I'm gonna do 2, oops, I put silicone oil on these, so they're kind of slippery, okay, then 3. Okay, so it should look like this. And if this is kind of looks like this, I'm gonna show you how to fix that, because it does that sometimes. So then I'm just gonna get a single band and pull it through those loops, reclaim, and do a slip knot and pull tight. Okay, so then I'm just gonna weave this guy in, but first I'm gonna fix this. So it's kind of like overlapping like that, and we don't really want this. We want this guy in like the center of these two. So I'm gonna, how I'm gonna do this? I'm gonna pretty much just pull it up to fix it. It's a little bit tricky. Whatever. I don't really. I like to do this sometimes where it's like that. So like now it's like on the side, and we don't want that. Okay, I'm gonna go off camera for a minute and fix that. Okay, so I had to like end up like redoing it so it got in the center. It stretched out the bands a bit, but oh well. So then I'm just gonna hide this tail in here. So what I'm gonna do to hide it in, I'm just gonna go into this, these stitches right here, and then I'm just gonna grab the band and pretty much just hide that tail and just weave it through. That did nothing. Wait 1 second. Oops. Okay, then I'm gonna turn it around and go into the next one. Just weaving it through so you cannot see it anymore. And into this last one. Sorry if you can't see what I'm doing. It's just me weaving it basically. Okay. So I weaved it in like that so you cannot see the tail anymore. Alright, so then I'm just gonna show you how to make this leaf. And you don't have to put it on. This is what it looks like with it out on. You can see it looks perfectly fine like this, but I'm gonna put it on because I think that it's cute. So I'm just gonna grab green. You can use any color. I'm just gonna grab green bands. Okay, I'm gonna get a green. I'm gonna wrap it around twice. I'm gonna grab those 2 and wrap it around there. So there's like 4 loops on your hook. Then I'm gonna double loop a band like that and pull these 4 loops on there like that, and reclaim that double loop band. Okay, I'm going to do it again. And just 2 more times. So that was 1, then 2, then, whoops, then 3. Okay, so it looks like that. Then I'm going to double loop another one, pull it through these loops, reclaim, but then pull this front one over the back one like that. Then I'm going to go back into this stitch with the 4 loops like that. So it's pretty much a chain, but it's just smaller with double loops. And I'm going to double loop a band and pull it through, reclaim, then pull this front one over these 2 like that. Then I'm going to go into this next stitch in the middle. So this is the capping band. Did I do this right? Yeah, okay. So this is the capping band. So I'm going to go into this, basically this stitch in the middle. So this was the one that we just did. I'm going to go to the stitch in the middle. I'm going to double loop. And just make a stitch. I'm going to go back in. So there's 2. Make a stitch. Okay, so then I'm going to go back. So then I'm going to go to the next stitch. I think that's what I did. Oh well. If not, it's just going to be a longer leaf. Okay, I'm going to just put 2 more into here. Sorry if you can't see, it's just what I did before. Okay, so I just did that. So then this is the capping band. It kind of looks like a circle. I'm going to go in there. And then I'm just going to pull a green band through everything. My hook. So it's like that. Okay, so I'm just going to gently take it. If you do it gently, then nothing should come undone. Then I'm going to grab my pear. I'm going to go through a stitch up here, like something up here. Just going to go through something up there, and then I'm going to grab my leaf, grab this single band, pull it through, reclaim the other loop, and do a slip knot and pull tight. Okay, oops, that just... Okay, so you have like a leaf. Yeah, I definitely made this too long, but oh well. Yeah, this is like really long, but I think that actually kind of looks cute with that. Because on here I made like a smaller leaf, but I accidentally... Okay, so I'm just gonna hide the screen band in my pear. Okay. If you want to make like a smaller leaf, you can. I'm not going to show you how to do that. It's pretty self-explanatory. Just don't chain as much up. Okay. I actually don't like that leaf though. Okay, so now last thing that we have to do is the eyes. So I already have my eye bands on, but I basically just got string in my eye and I pulled it through the hole in the eye and I put a band on and then I pulled it back over it to put on the band, if that makes sense. If not, then you can watch my other videos and I other previous videos and I show you how to do it. Yeah, okay. So I'm gonna grab my pear and I'm just gonna pick a spot where I think is gonna look best. So I'm gonna look at my other ones to see what I did. I'm gonna go here. Just pick a spot where you think that the eyes are gonna be best. Okay, pull a band through, like that. I'm not gonna pull tight. I'm just gonna leave the tail out. Then I'm gonna skip a stitch and go into the next one like this. You can put the eyes wherever. And you honestly don't even have to do a face. I just like a face. I just like to do faces, okay? So I'm not gonna tuck the tails in yet because I'm gonna do the cheeks. So I'm gonna grab 2 pink bands. I'm gonna pick a spot where I want the cheeks. So about here. I'll grab a pink band, pull it through. And don't pull tight at all. Okay, then I'm just gonna hide it. Alright, then I'm gonna hide my eye band, or eye tail, because I like how it looks. Okay, then I'm gonna do the other side. I pick a spot where I want the cheeks to be. Pull sort of tight, not that tight. Go through there like that. Hide the eye band. Okay, these eyes look weird, but whatever. Okay. So yeah, that's your pear. I hope that you like this tutorial. I'm going to be showing you how to make, or how I did, the smile. And again, it kind of looks weird. It's gonna look bulgy like that, but whatever. Alright, I'm gonna show you how to do the smile, in a second. But in case that you are done, and you do not want to make a smile or make a face, I hope that you enjoy this tutorial. So I'm gonna, go into my area where I have my hot glue gun to do the smile. Okay, so I am at the station where I hot glue my things, and while my hot glue gun is, heating up, I'm just gonna show you how to cut the smile. So I basically just get a black band, and I cut it how I like it. So you can cut it how long as you want. So it basically looks like a smile. Oops. Just a small smile. Don't cut it too big. So just see if you like it, how it looks on it, and I do. So I'm going to... Okay, so it looks like it's heated up. So when your hot glue gun is heated up, I'm just gonna basically get it. I'm gonna put a dot of hot glue where I want the smile. Whoops, it is not heated up all the way. Here, wait 1 second. Okay, no, okay, it is, okay. Oops. Okay, I'm gonna put it where I want it. Just a dot of hot glue, don't put that much, like a lot. Alright. I'm gonna take my smile and place it on that dot there. Okay. And just wait for it to dry. I'm gonna cut this like excess weird glue sticking out. And if it doesn't come out how you like it the first time, then I found that you can just remove the hot glue and do it again. But yeah, that is pretty much it. I hope that yours turned out fine. Whoops, oh my god, my hot glue gun almost fell. So yeah, and I found this guy you have to kind of like shape up the top. I kind of overstuffed this because you can see the stitching showing, but oh well. Yeah, so I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial. And tag me on Instagram if you make this or any things of mine. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye.